1978, folks who had children and family members with special needs really had nowhere for those folks to get any kind of services. The Americans with Disability Act had yet to come in, so what educational services they could get, that's what they advocated for with the local school districts.
It was an all-hands-on-deck experience, so it meant you drove the van, you helped people with personal care, you did the dishes. We even served lunches at the Grand Prix races because that was one of the contracts we had.
My hope is that through the process that we're putting forth to do the transformation that we're doing is to show how people with developmental disabilities really do have a place in our community. And so now the Arc of Schuyler is taking that and moving it on into the community settings now 40 years later.
There's a new state policy that says sheltered workshops in New York State need to close or transform by the year 2021. That was very shocking when we first learned of that because sheltered workshops have been a really important part of job training for people with disabilities for so many years. But then you have to look at what's going on around us and recognize that the schools are putting much more emphasis on not having segregated classes for kids with disabilities.
I believe that we all agree with that our folks deserve a life of meaning and dignity, just like you and I do. However, forcefully and quickly mandating that, I don't believe it was the best thing, but it is what it is. So consequently, we've had to get creative, and that's where the plans are coming together that the organization administration has come up with so that our folks are included in general society to a better degree.
I think there's a creativeness that has to be given to people to find their niche in our community. It's hard to do, and it's hard to find people to find the acceptance for those people, but I think the closure of the sheltered workshops is truly New York State's way of just forcing that to happen. They want adults to be in the least restrictive environment, which is our community, and be able to work side by side with all of us. And I think if people open their minds and their hearts, they can find a lot of success.
So there's really three components to what we're working on right now. One is to set up a neighborhood center, a place for meetings, a place to have special events, a place to do staff training, a place for wellness activities like Tai Chi or yoga, arts classes. The second component of our transformation plan is setting up Glen Copac as an integrated business. We currently do food manufacturing for businesses, and we're going to be expanding that food manufacturing line to meet a growing need for food-safe products.
People who don't know our folks often don't know how to approach them. And I don't believe it's because they don't care about them, it's just because they don't know. The more our folks are met and known to folks, I think the more people are going to appreciate them and see their abilities and not their inabilities, and like many of us do, come to love them.
Most of the time, students with disabilities want to be a part of the school community in various ways, but they don't always know how. And then as they get older, getting into how to make medical appointments if their families aren't around, things like that. So we help make that transition easier for them.
People may already be familiar with what we've accomplished with Schuyler County Transit, which is a public transit system. It meets the needs of the general public as well as people with disabilities. So it's really building on what we've already been successful at with integrated programs.
We are strong, and our goal is to continue to stay strong. I do believe that our folks not only learn from us, but we can learn from them.